The pre-trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte is set for June 18. The Senate website reflects its leadership change and no longer refers to Alan Peter Cayetano as Senate President. Several foreign governments expressed their sympathies to Filipinos affected by the magnitude 7.8 earthquake in Mindanao. Malacanang calls out Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte's Ugaling basura or garbage behavior. And Aurora police say the drowning of Ateneo Blue Eagles players Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili was an accident. The Senate, led by Acting Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian, schedules the pre-trial conference for the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte on June 18. In a notice, the impeachment court directs Duterte and the House prosecution panel to appear at 9 a.m. at the Senate. The conference seeks to tackle the stipulation of facts, simplification of issues, marking of evidence, and identification of witnesses. It will also discuss trial dates, the proposed sequence for the presentation of evidence, and other matters to ensure a fair and expeditious trial. Both camps are given until June 15 to submit their pre-trial briefs. The court adds, failure to file pre-trial briefs on time or appear at the conference could result in the waiver of certain evidence and witnesses. Meantime, Gatchalian authorizes a work-from-home arrangement for Senate personnel on Wednesday, June 10 and Thursday, June 11. This after the National Bureau of Investigation relayed information of a security threat. Senator Tito Soto describes it as a clear and present danger. The Senate website reflects the leadership change at the upper chamber on June 3. Senator Win Gatchalian is now officially listed as Senate President pro tempore, while Senator Mig Zubiri is listed as Senate Majority Leader. The other officer positions, Senate President and Senate Minority Leader, are still vacant as 13 senators are needed to elect a Senate President. The website also reflects the new chairpersons of some committees, and among them is Senator Erwin Tulfo as chair of the Blue Ribbon Committee. While Senator Alan Peter Cayetano continues to insist that he is the legitimate and moral Senate President, he also sought what he called a workable interim administrative arrangement with Gatchalian. This, according to Cayetano, would supposedly ensure that Senate operations are unhampered by their dispute. The offer was for both Cayetano and Gatchalian to sign Senate documents for salaries. Gatchalian rejected this. Over the weekend, Gatchalian met with officials from the Office of the Senate Sergeant-at-Arms as concerns persist among Senate employees. Cayetano held another Facebook Live over the weekend to assure his supporters he has not ceded the Senate presidency. Several foreign governments expressed their sympathies to Filipinos affected by the magnitude 7.8 earthquake off the coast of Sarangani on Monday, June 8. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reports at least 37 people died as of Tuesday morning, June 9. The NDRRMC also says at least 479 are injured and 4 people are still missing. Japan Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi expresses her heartfelt condolences to those affected and says Japan is ready to provide any possible assistance. Canada's ambassador to the Philippines, David Hartman, also says Ottawa is ready to extend support to affected communities. The ambassadors of Australia, the UK, and the European Union offer messages of solidarity with those affected. The U.S. Embassy in Manila says it is closely monitoring the situation along with local authorities and stands ready to support government relief efforts. The embassies of France, China, New Zealand, and the Czech Republic also expressed their sympathies to affected communities. More than 19,000 families have been affected by the quake according to NDRRMC's latest situational report. Around 5,000 families are in evacuation centers. Meantime, the Jollibee Food Corporation says employees in all its stores in the city have been accounted for and are safe. This after a video of the collapse of one of its stores went viral. Malacanang and the Environment Management Bureau slammed Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte's order to dump trash in front of the DENR's regional office, calling it Ugaling basura or garbage behavior.
Ang tahasang pagpapakita ng kawalan ng galang sa batas, proseso at rule of law, ang siyang dapat na ituring na ugaling basura. Ito ang dapat na itapon ng mga abusadong leader na imbes na sumunod sa proseso para sa kapakanan ng komunidad ay maninisi pa sa mahigpit na pagpapatupad ng mga panuntunan.
The EMB said on June 6, Duterte's order violates the law which prohibits littering and illegal dumping under the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. Duterte issued the order in response to the mounting trash that accumulates daily while the New Carmen Sanitary Landfill remains closed. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources suspended the landfill's operations on May 21 and says it will only be lifted once all safety and engineering interventions are completed. Reports say at least 2 died from the trash slide. Duterte said his office had identified additional waste collection points, including the DENR's regional office, so officials there can, quote, personally appreciate the volume of garbage that accumulates when an essential public service is halted indefinitely. The mayor also says a new sanitary landfill is underway, which will start operations by June 16. The Aurora Police Provincial Office says the deaths of Ateneo Blue Eagles players Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili is, quote, purely an accident. Baterbonia, 19, and Adili, 21, died from drowning Monday, June 8 during the Blue Eagles team-building activity in Dipaculaw, Aurora. Acting Provincial Director Police Colonel Percival Pineda says their investigation indicated no signs of foul play. He says the 2 men were walking in thigh-deep water at a private resort at around 2:40 p.m. before being swept away in a deeper section by strong currents. The Blue Eagles have supposedly held the same team building in Aurora for years. Meantime, the Philippine Sports Commission announces it will form a sports stakeholders panel to investigate the players' tragic deaths. The panel includes the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, the University Athletic Association of the Philippines, the Commission on Higher Education, and the National Youth Commission. These bodies will work to, quote, examine existing policies, protocols, and training practices for athletic training environments. The panel will also coordinate with the police and the Department of Justice to lay out the facts of Baterbonia and Adili's deaths. And that's today's wrap. I'm JC Gotinga. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. For more updates, download the wRap.